So, guys, I need 1 minute of you, okay? Take your time and listen to what I'm about to say. So, this channel right here is helping you for you to know how to you can do your business. You understand me? How you can grow your business, how you can make money online, okay? So, I'm using people's video. I'm sharing people's video with you. You understand me? To let you understand how you can make a business, okay? So if you are interested, subscribe to the channel and turn on notification bell so that anytime I upload a new video, you are the first person to have it. Don't forget to share with your family and friends, okay? So please organize yourself and let's watch the video. So don't forget, like I said, share with your family and friends. Thank you so much.
I might not be a pro at this game, but I do get a few people sliding into my DMs asking me certain questions. And although I still consider myself an amateur in this like baking business, I've decided to start a little series whereby once in a while I just share a few tips that works for me, and then hopefully it might be able to work for you too. So today, in fact, welcome to class. Today our first topic will be about pricing. I get a few people, in fact quite a number of people actually come to my DMs, and then they ask how they could price their goods because they end up not making profits. And the whole purpose of a business is to be able to create something from that business, like build something from that business. One thing you need to note is that from your baking business or any business in general, there are a few things you need to know. The first one is it's this same business that you're going to build your house with, this same business you're going to build your lifestyle with. Like all of those things have to come into mind. So you have to take it into serious consideration, and you have to make sure that you are able to earn enough from your business, and it's not just like you are doing cakes but nothing is coming back to you. So we'll be moving to my board because we are in class. So pay attention. Hopefully this works for you. If it doesn't work for you, you just have to find another like alternative, but hopefully this works for someone. Okay, so now we all know that when we go to the market, we buy things. We won't exactly buy things just for one cakes, right? We buy them in a quantity. Let's say a bag of flour, that's the 5 kg bag of flour, right? Costs 80 cedis. And then per your recipe, you use 300 grams of flour. Let me put the 5 kg here. So now, how many times are you going to get this 300 grams of flour from this 5 kg bag of flour? That's 5,000 divided by the 300, which means that we are going to be getting 16.7. So this means that we are going to be able to use this bag of flour 16 times. Or if we want to round it up, let's say 17 times, but let's go with 16. So we are going to use it 16 times. So now, after we have this figure, what we are going to do is this 80 cedis, right? It's now going to be 80 cedis divided by the 16.7, which is going to give us 4 cedis, 80 pesos, right? So that means that per every recipe you are doing, if you are doing your recipe 1, you are going to budget your flour for 4 cedis, 80 pesos. What I normally like to do is to just round this off, so making it 5 cedis. So if you use 300 grams of flour for your recipe, that flour would be 5 cedis, right? Now, the next thing that we are going to do is to repeat this same process for all these ingredients, right? So for the flour, we have 5 cedis. So per recipe, we have 5 cedis. You do the same thing for your sugar, your baking powder, your baking soda, your eggs, your milk, your oil. You do all of that. So I'm just going to write like some figures here just for purposes, but this is the formula you use, right? How much you bought the flour or whichever ingredients divided by the quantity you use for your recipe, right? Which will give you how many times you're going to be able to use this bag of flour. and then you divide that by the amount you bought it to get the individual cost per recipe. I really hope I'm making sense. So once we are done with that, let me just write the figures here, then we can proceed. Okay, so right now, this is supposedly all the ingredients, that's the materials that was used to create the cake. So we are going to total all of this, 25, 26, 27. So now our total cost of ingredients is 146 cedis. So I'm going to clean this. Before I continue, let's take it like this recipe is going to give me a 6 inches 1 layered cake, right? So the next thing we are going to move on to is our packaging stuff. So that includes the box and board. That also includes any extra decor pieces that might be on the cake. If you are putting in like an edible print, any of those. See, here's one thing you all might forget. The soap you used to wash the place after, the water you used, the gas you used, electricity. All of this, we are going to group them in one category. They are very important. And a lot of you skip out on these things, which is why sometimes you don't even get profit, because the thing you were supposed to get for your profit, you've used it to supply these items. Then we are also going to talk about the market you went to go and get all these ingredients, the transportation you took. From where I stayed to Medina, if I was to go in and out, I'm going to give you roughly an estimate of 100 cedis for transport. Let me do it this way. Transport, 100 cedis. So this includes, maybe sometimes you might do it as a delivery, you might walk in there to pick up any of those. So for the board and box for this cake, I'm going to give it, let's say 30 cedis. The decor pieces, maybe I use some faux balls and those things. Now, if you are buying a decor piece that you are not certain if you would be reusing, be sure to charge the clients the full amount of that, because if not, you end up stacking up things you don't even need. So I'm going to put it here as 30 cedis as well. And for all of this, I'm going to give it a rough estimate of, let's say, 150 cedis. So now, after all of this, the next thing that you need to do is to charge your workmanship. That is where you get your profits from most of the time, your workmanship. So let's assume that I decide that I'm going to charge maybe, let's see, maybe I'm going to charge 30 cedis per hour, right? And it took me, let's say, 3 hours to bake, excluding cooling time, to bake and decorate this cake. So now what I am going to do is add this, and add 30 times 3. That would have given me 90 cedis. I'm going to add all of this together, and that is going to give you the cost of your 6-inch 1 layer cake. And based off these calculations, our total would be 546 cedis. This is just a rough estimate, so I'm not saying this is the price. So now, this is the total we get from all of this, which brings our total to 546 cedis. Which means that if you were, someone was to ask you, how much is your 6-inch 1 layer cake, right? You would have to tell the person that your 6-inch 1 layer cake, you can round this up, is 550 cedis. And this is how you get your profits. With these few points I've made, I hope I've been able to enlighten you and not confuse you more. If you have any other questions, you can ask me in the comment section. So if you were to do like a 2-inch 2-layered cake based on this price, you just have to multiply this by 2 to get it. If you want, maybe because it's a bigger cake and you want to give a little discount, maybe you could take off the 50 cedis and do it 500 times 2, which will give you 1,000. Or you can equally maintain the 550. Anyone works. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our class. You can let me know what else you might want me to talk about next, but for me, this is what I use to get my pricing, and it comes out well every time. I'm able to make profit from it and all of that. So you can try this out. If it works for you, let me know. But thank you guys for watching. Bye.